keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins, letting go again. I'm not afraid.
Hey everyone, it's Skyee here, and welcome to part 3 of our color along for this month. So as you should already know, we're working in Mythical Maidens by Hannah Lynn, and part 1 and 2 are available if you haven't caught those yet. So we are working on Faryn, and this is what we've got so far. I'm super excited to get her finished. I know I say that every time, but it's still true. I'm actually recording this one way in advance, just because I wanted to give myself enough time so I don't feel too pressured. And yeah, I'm powering on through it. I'll have it ready way before I actually need to, which will be good. So I was on the fence about finishing her, and I'm going to somewhat finish her because I'm too impatient and I can't wait, but we'll probably leave her skin for last like I always do, because I find that the skin just completely brings them together. She won't look completely finished without her skin, so we'll do everything but. So I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to tackle first here. We got a cat at the door. Oh, it's a Mr. Stitch. Hi, buddy. I'm not feeding you again. You just ate. What kiddo?
You know, some people think there's more money for it. Say the tooth, don't put it under the pillow, and then when another tooth comes out, and when other tooth comes out, there will be a lot of money.
That'd take a lot of patience. I love you. Little man's excited. He just lost his first tooth. Those of you that follow the channel might remember me talking a long time ago about how his cousin actually knocked his first tooth out. So he actually lost his first one properly, and he's pretty excited that the tooth fairy visited him last night. I think let's start with the gold actually. So we'll come in with the canary yellow, which I'm going to need a blender pencil for, or not blender pencil, extender. Pencil extender, that's the one I want. I would like a sharper point on this thing, but it's very temperamental. Okay. I don't want to be constantly moving the book around, so we'll just do what we can that's in frame. So we can do that one. And that one. 1 second here. I could have swore I put this thing on silent. Okay, so we've got a base of the canary yellow. Don't know if we need all of these colors I've got picked out, but we'll see. Let's go in with our dark brown. Just lightly build these up. I want a very bright gold, but we also want those brown tones in it too, and that's also going to pull her horse body in. So we're just going to come in on either side. The cuffs on her arm are going to be a little bit trickier because they're so small. Throw some burnt ochre in over top. Gonna bring this one out a little bit further. Again, just really, really lightly. Can't even see. You know what? Let's just focus on these ones here for now. If we keep the book right there, then I won't have to move it around. I want to add a little bit more dark brown, just at the very edges. So I want to create kind of like a dark brown line just along the outline and then just fade it out really quick. And then we're going to go in with our yellow ochre. And I'm going to lightly bring this out, kind of going over everything and then bringing it out a little bit. Saving that highlight right in the center. We're going to try and save as much of a highlight on these small ones as we can. Okay, then let's go back in with our canary yellow. And I think with this one, we're just going to use a little bit of a firmer pressure and go over everything just to lighten it all up and blend it all together. Move over here and tackle these ones. So I'm just going to catch this one up. So we're going to cover it in the canary yellow and then I think, oops, the only other thing that we did was went over with dark brown, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and darken these edges with the dark brown now. So just the very edges. Fade them out. We'll go in with our burnt ochre. I want to bring this out too far. Still got those two yellows to fit in there too. But this will basically just go over the dark brown and make it a little bit more orangey. Okay, then we'll go in with our yellow ochre. So we're kind of going over all of our browns there and kind of bringing those out a bit. Making sure to fade that out and leave a highlight there for our canary yellow, which is next. And again, we'll just go over everything with that. I do like how shiny everything is, but I think I want to dull it back just a little bit. So let's go in over top with the cream. That'll be our final color. So that should just knock back that brightness just a little bit while still holding all of the colors. So then we come down to her feet and just do the exact same thing. Losing my color swatches here. Where did that one go? I lost my dark brown one. Okay, I found it. It was hiding under the burnt ochre one. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and darken up the edges right now too. Might as well. Let's bring our burnt ochre in. Just kind of going over the dark brown and bringing it out just slightly. Yellow ochre really brings it all together. If you like the look of the dull metal better, you can kind of see the difference. This is more of like a dull, less shiny gold, and this is like a brighter version. You could stop at this and then go over with the cream instead of the canary yellow. I think it would look just as good. And then we'll just burnish everything up here. And then I think that's it for the gold. I was debating doing the arrow gold too, but I'm not sure. I think we might do silver. We'll have to see. Okay, so let's move on to her shirt here. And we're going to start with the black. I'm going to bring a line of that just along this part of her shirt here and fade it out. And then let's do one on either side of here. And then I think just above this line here. Maybe above all of these lines, we'll just add a little tiny bit. Okay. Then let's go in with our Tuscan red. So we're going to go in over top of the black, just bring it out a little bit. It's going to turn that black into like a dark maroony red color instead. So everywhere there's black, we're just going to go over it and bring it out just slightly. Even slighter on these little bits here. I wouldn't bring it out too much. So we do want to leave room for our highlight colors. Otherwise it'll make her shirt look really flat, and we don't want that. I wish I would have thought of doing this back when we had the Disney character challenge in the Hannah Lynn group. But I guess actually it was a mermaid challenge, but I still could have applied it to this since as an admin I don't really enter anyways. But yeah, I didn't really think of it at the time. Yeah, if you love Hannah Lynn and you're on Facebook and you're not part of the Hannah Lynn group, I definitely recommend joining. I'm still, to this day, super honored to be able to run that group. Especially since the people in it are absolutely wonderful. Like, you get some groups where there's like always drama and just you have to like moderate it like crazy. The Hannah Lynn group is one of those things where you can just kind of keep on the back burner because everybody's always really nice and there's hardly ever drama there. I think I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I had to like get involved with stuff in that group. And I think it's been at least 2 years since it was handed over to me. I'm not sure. I haven't really kept track. Okay, let's go in with our crimson red, which again, we're gonna go over our black and Tuscan red. We're gonna bring this out. I sharpened my pencil quite a bit because I want a really sharp tip on it, because that's gonna help save our highlights here. The only way to make this spot make sense is to kind of tie these two together a little bit here, like that. So kind of like adding our own shading to kind of bring that down. And I want this to be a really deep red shirt, so I'm really getting in there with this color. Because our other red is more kind of orangish. So I want quite a bit of this red to kind of dilute it a little bit. From there, let's bring in our poppy red, which is the last color, I think, unless we decide to add some white to it, but we'll see. And I want a really sharp tip on this one too. So I'm going to kind of start on the highlights and just blend into everything. I'm not completely burnishing the page yet because I think we might have to go back in with a color here. I'm thinking, let's go back in with the Tuscan red quick and just see if we can fade these out a little bit better. Doesn't look like they faded out very well actually. A little better. Let's go in with the Tuscan red. A little bit more on this part of the shirt too. Just kind of want to bring these shadows up a little bit. So I feel like these reds actually blended in together a little bit more than I thought they would. So there's kind of no definition yet because of that. That kind of helps break it up a little bit. And then I think I might just use my blender pencil to blend that all together. Clean it off though, it's still got blue from her hair on it. We can use this to kind of blend those colors together too. Okay, so now we're going to do that all over again, except down here. So I think just along the cuff here, I'm just going to color this in with black. I'm going to make it really dark at the top and fade it out. Okay, and then for these, I think our shadows are going to be kind of in different areas, and Hannah's got a lot of lines going on here. So I don't think I want to shadow every single one because it's going to make it look kind of funny. So I'm going to go with kind of like the darker one. So I'm going to pick on this one here, and I'm going to shadow just slightly to the left of it. Same with this top one, and maybe this one here. I'm going to put light, very light shadows on all of them, but our darker ones are going to stick to the darker areas. So this one here, let's go to the right of this one. Fade those out. Darker one right here. And here, and here. And then we'll just put light shadows on these other ones. Let's put a dark shadow kind of on top of this line here. And then I'm just going to kind of go around this front one with the black to kind of darken that up. Let's just work on two at a time. So we'll do these two first. I'm going with our Tuscan red, and then same as on the top, I'm going to bring this in over the black and fade it out. I'm going to go over these little ones too, but just lightly. this black here pretty dark. Again, just to kind of help separate those. Okay, so we want it to be kind of like a muddy color. Just adding a little bit more red to some of these areas that still look a little too black. A little too dark, I think. I don't know how I keep losing my swatches. There it is. Okay, crimson red. Again, same as before, we're just going to go over the shadows and bring them out slightly. This pencil's a little awkward to work with right now because it's trying to break on me. I can feel it, but it also won't pull out either, so I don't know what's up. I can see it bending, but the lead actually isn't broken, which is weird. This one is mostly going to be dark in the back. There's not really much room to do much with it. It's pretty small. Let's just darken up some of these areas. And then let's go in with the poppy red. Just going to go in with a medium pressure for now and try to blend some of these together and see how it looks, and then we'll kind of go from there. And this one though, I'm just going to completely burnish this one in with the poppy red. I'm not adding any more pressure. Just going over it again to darken this color up a little bit here. Let's go back to our crimson. There we go. It was driving me crazy. I had to take the lead out. Okay. Just gonna come out very firm from these shadows. I don't want to darken them up anymore, but I do want to darken the red, if that makes sense. feel like this crimson red gets lost, and I really want it to kind of pop out since it is the main shadow color for the most part. I think I might actually leave it like that. Maybe not. Let's go in once more with our poppy red and darken these. I'm just going in on the highlights. I don't want to mix the poppy red with the other colors right now. Kind of want them to stay separate, otherwise they just kind of get lost in each other. There we go. All right, let's start over with these ones here. So go to the left of this one. So with that little one there. Let's do this one. These are just the darker ones. Okay, we're going to go to the right of this one. And this one and this one. Okay, and then we're going to lightly go to the left for those. And then we're going to lightly go to the right for these. Okay, this one we'll do it. We'll start with our dark ones again. So left side, right side, and right side. Actually, let's do left side on this one. Okay, and then lighter ones on the left. And then the right. It's not going to make too much of a difference what side of the line you put your shadows on. I think it would still look okay because this is kind of flared out, so really it could be on either side. But I just kind of judge by which way the line is going and which way looks like it would be behind, because that's what this is technically the fabric is like tucked in behind other bits of fabric. So you want the ones behind to look a little bit darker. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's darken up the tops here a little bit more. Oops. And then we'll go in with our Tuscan red. Which should be enough. Again, I don't want to go too crazy with the shadows. It's hard not to though. Okay, let's go over with our crimson red. Just gonna bring these shadows out. little too crazy on the shadows for this back one here. Doesn't help that these lines are so close together. I think we can make it work though. Okay, it's going with the poppy red. And I think like I did on that last go around on these, let's try and just pop the poppy red in on the highlights. I think that actually looked better than trying to blend them in. And easier, since these shadows and highlights can get super lost here. We will go back with the crimson red. And I think we'll blend that into the poppy red instead. I think that'll help keep the poppy red from getting lost in everything. Yeah. And then it also helps burnish the shadows. I want this one. Just going over these highlights one more time, getting rid of the white behind some of them. Okay, and while we're down here, you don't have to do this. This is completely optional. I'm going to because I think I made the one side just a little bit too small, so I just kind of want to bring the white up on these back legs a little bit here. So I'm just going to color in the bottom completely, and then I'm just going to use a flicking motion to kind of bring up some white looking fur, and it looks terrible, so we're just going to, oh, didn't work as well on this one as it did on the other one. I'm just going to slide that up a little bit. Let's try and build this up. There we go, it's a little better. I've got my dark brown here. I'm just going to knock that one line back a little bit because it looks kind of funny. There we go. They don't completely match, but it does look a lot better. I could kind of just white that out there like that. Okay, happy with that. So for these, I'm gonna cheat for now. Actually, maybe I'll leave those for now. I'm actually kind of debating because we've got these flowers here. I'm thinking about doing the flowers purple, so I'm kind of on the fence about doing flowers here, purple and green as well. You know what? We can always go over them with a Posca pen. If you don't have one of those, then maybe wait. But for now, I'm going to go over them with purple. I want to see what that will look like. is one great thing about paint, and even greater about Posca pens, because even though they're a little on the pricey side, mine have lasted a long time. I use them a lot, and they are super, super helpful. I usually use them in cases like this where I kind of want to cheat. If I don't like something, I know I can go over it with them. So then it kind of allows me to try different things a little bit more freely without worrying about wrecking the page. Still have some red flowers in there as well. I'm just gonna make some of these flowers too. Do red and purple, see which one we like more. Maybe we'll keep both, we'll see. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think I might be going over with a Posca later. Not too bad. I'm really on the fence now. I like it and I don't. I think I might just have to lighten the purple flowers up. So when they dry, we can go over with the white pencil and see if that makes a difference. I'm not really sure what's flower and what's leaf. I'm just kind of winging it. We can just make it up as we go, right? I got everything in there, and I think that should be light enough. We can try and pop some white in there and see what happens. I think I like that a lot better. Let's take our crimson red. Just add a little bit of shadow to these. I don't think the crimson red is quite doing it. Let's go Tuscan red. So if you don't have fine liners, not a huge deal. You could just use pencil. Just kind of cheated. Fine liners are a little bit easier to use. I'm gonna cheat these two. I'm just gonna shadow the leaves with the fine liners. It's maybe even, I wouldn't shadow with brown or with black with the other leaves, but we could use shadow with brown, or actually purple might work too for the dark colored leaves, because I don't have a darker. Purple doesn't look too bad. Let's try brown. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like the purple better. So I'm just going to come in on the dark colored leaves and touch some purple in on there. It's going to give them a little bit of shadow, and then we're just kind of cheating on these small bits so we don't have to actually color them. So we could even lighten up little bits on the red flowers. That'll add some extra interest too. So I went from that to that really, really simply. I actually really like that. Yay for cheating. Although, not really cheating. It's more like getting really creative and trying new things, but it's always nice when it actually works out. Okay, going with our Tuscan red for these red flowers. Just going in with a dark green and just adding little lines and dots to kind of shade the leaves. And then I'm going to go in with my purple for the dark leaves and do the same thing. Throw a little bit of white on the red leaves, or flowers. Into the tail. Okay. Let's do the red shadows first. There's no rhyme or reason to where I'm adding the shadows either. I'm just adding little tiny bits of shadow to each flower just to make it look a little bit less flat. And we can come in with our yellow, oh my goodness, the white. And we'll lighten up the purple flowers and add our highlights to the red ones. I think I was thinking about doing the centers of the flowers gold, but I might leave them white now. I'm not sure. I kind of like the white poking through there. Little tiny shadows for these leaves because they're already really small. It's okay if we miss a few. Okay. So we're just at an hour now. Let's see, this is part 3. My goodness. I don't feel like we got a whole lot done this time. Okay. So I've only got 2 more parts left. We're definitely gonna need more than that. Okay, let's do, let's see if we can zoom out and get it all in camera here. Too much. Okay, so we're just gonna do this bottom part here, I think. I'd rather make a couple parts longer than have like a really long last part. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the dark brown. And just gonna color in just the bottoms and kind of sides of some of these spots here. I'm just gonna make it completely random. Okay, it's kind of like that. I think I kind of want to bring the dark umber into. I'll just grab this swatch for that. Okay. I'm not quite sure where I want to put that yet, though. But it'll go somewhere. Let's actually, I think I know. So let's take the dark umber and I'm gonna pop this in underneath all of these these areas. Again, just really rough. Kind of fading it out as I go, but I'm making it really random and just coming out kind of sporadically, I guess. Hopefully this turns out, it looks good in my head, so I'm just gonna go with it. Add just some random bits. Definitely under the hoofs here. Okay, this looks really funny and kind of cool at the same time. Okay, so from there, let's grab our, go with kelp green. I'm going to bring this in underneath all of these little brown bits that I just popped in, and I'm going to bring it out from them. Again, kind of sporadically, kind of fading them off, leaving little weird circles and shapes and little smudgy bits everywhere. Now this is going to be really hard to try and copy down. So don't try and copy me exactly, just be loose with it and have fun. The more random you make it, I think the more interesting it's going to look. Or at least I'm hoping so anyways. So we got that. I think now what I want to lightly do is still continuing with the light, or the kelp green. Just gonna lightly come in and go over everything. Just lightly, just like we're almost as if we were adding a base. Although we've already got quite a bit of color there. Okay, let's come in with the lime peel. I'm just going to add this into the lighter areas. Again, just really messily. It's not going everywhere. Just kind of doing random shapes, squiggles. We'll add to that texture that we kind of got going on here. Now let's go in with green ochre, which I'm going to sharpen first. I'm going to bring this over top and up on these little patchy bits, and then just kind of fade them out. Still kind of coloring in that area, and that's going to create our highlight. And let's just add a little bit of this to the main areas too. I think we're going to go kind of mostly with the darker areas. Bring them out a little bit more. Okay. So I think we'll call this good for Actually, no, maybe not. Hold on here. I want to blend that out a little bit. I'm indecisive, I know, I'm sorry. Oops. Clean that off. I'm literally just going to go in and blend everything together. And when I do that in the same fashion, I put everything in there, just kind of like randomly going wherever because I want to keep that look to it. But it really boldens up the colors, as you can kind of see, so I don't want to leave it too mediocre looking. Alright, there we go. I think that looks a lot better. It definitely blended better on that side than it did over here, which is weird. But that's okay. So that is it for part 3. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. As always, take care, and I will see you next time. Alright, bye!
One day